Most people believe Magic Johnson is wealthy because he played basketball. That's the story everyone knows. NBA championships, a Hall of Fame career, endorsements, fame, a global brand. On the surface, that explanation feels complete. But the moment you zoom out, it starts to fall apart. Because if basketball alone created lasting wealth, then the outcome would look very different for a lot of athletes. History is full of players who earned millions, sometimes tens of millions, and still ended up broke. Same spotlight, same access, same income potential, completely different result. So the real question isn't how much money Magic Johnson made while he was playing. The real question is why his money kept growing long after basketball stopped. And the answer isn't talent, it isn't hustle, it isn't even timing, it's structure. Basketball was the door that opened opportunity for Magic Johnson. It was never the destination. His NBA salary was impressive for its era, but it came with an invisible ceiling. It depended on his body, his health, his relevance, and his ability to show up every night. The moment those games ended, that income stream would have ended too. That's the ceiling most high earners eventually hit. They make good money, sometimes great money, but everything depends on them staying in the middle of the system. They are the engine, and engines eventually wear out. Magic recognized that problem early, and instead of trying to push harder against the ceiling, he stepped around it entirely. At some point after leaving the NBA, Magic Johnson had a realization that most people never reach. High income is fragile. Ownership is durable. Income depends on time, energy, health, and continued relevance. Ownership depends on structure, contracts, and control. So Magic stopped asking the question most people ask. Not, how do I make more money? But, how do I control systems that make money whether I'm present or not? That question changes how you see everything. Because once you ask it, you stop thinking like someone who gets paid for effort, and you start thinking like someone who gets leverage from ownership. Here's the part that almost never gets explained clearly. Magic Johnson didn't just invest in businesses. He built a holding company, Magic Johnson Enterprises. That single decision explains nearly everything that followed. A holding company doesn't run day-to-day operations. It doesn't manage employees. It doesn't rely on hustle or constant attention. A holding company owns pieces of other businesses. It holds equity. It holds voting power. It controls cash flow. And most importantly, it creates separation between the individual and the risk. That separation is the difference between working in businesses and controlling businesses. Magic didn't try to be everywhere. He built a structure that could be everywhere without him. Once you understand how a holding company works, the strategy becomes much clearer because it unlocks leverage in ways income never can. First, it separates risk. If one business struggles or fails, it doesn't take everything else down with it. Each company stands on its own. The holding company remains protected. Second, it stacks cash flow. Instead of money flowing into a personal account and stopping there, multiple businesses send profits upward into one central entity. That entity can reinvest, acquire new assets, enter larger partnerships, and negotiate from a position of strength. Third, it compounds leverage. Each successful deal strengthens the next one. Banks weren't dealing with Magic Johnson, the former basketball player. They were dealing with a business entity that already owned assets, generated revenue, and had professional structure. That's a fundamentally different conversation. Most people have heard about Magic Johnson's partnership with Starbucks, but very few people understand why it mattered. Magic didn't open one coffee shop. He didn't stand behind the counter. He structured dozens of Starbucks locations under a corporate framework, focused specifically on underserved urban markets. Here's the key point most people miss. Magic didn't bet on coffee. He partnered with a proven brand, a proven system, and a proven operation. Starbucks handled supply chains, training, and day-to-day execution. Magic brought capital, credibility, local market insight, and ownership. He positioned himself on the ownership side of a machine that already worked. That's not hustle culture, that's strategy. And Starbucks wasn't a one-off. Magic applied the same thinking across multiple industries: movie theaters, real estate, professional sports teams, large-scale partnerships, different businesses, same structure, ownership through entities, control without daily involvement, cash flow feeding into a central holding company. Each deal didn't just generate income, it strengthened the entire system. One asset made the next asset easier to acquire. That's how momentum actually works at scale. This is usually the moment where people mentally disengage. They say, "That's great, but that's Magic Johnson," and that's the mistake. Because the lesson here isn't celebrity, the lesson is structure. Magic didn't wake up one day with billions of dollars. He started by putting the right containers in place. Entities first, control second, money last. Most people try to earn their way into wealth. Magic structured his way into it. Here's the trap that even smart, high-income people fall into. They let their income hit their personal account first. They put their name on everything. They tie every dollar directly to their time and effort. They become the system. That works while everything is going right. But the moment life intervenes, illness, burnout, age, market shifts, growth stops. Magic avoided that trap. He didn't put himself in the middle of the system. He put entities in the middle. There's a quiet part of this story that rarely gets talked about. Magic Johnson didn't build wealth loudly. He didn't brand himself as a guru. He didn't sell motivation. He didn't chase attention. He built boring, durable structures that worked whether he was present or not. That's how real wealth is built. Not fast, not flashy, but controlled. And this is the part that matters if you're watching this and thinking, how does this apply to me? You don't need fame. You don't need millions. And you don't need a professional sports career to think this way. What you need is a shift in perspective. Once you understand that businesses can own businesses, that income can flow through structures, that risk can be separated, and that leverage can compound, you stop playing the same game as everyone else. You stop chasing checks. You start building systems. Most people are taught to focus on income first. Get a better job, get a raise, work harder. Very few people are taught to focus on ownership and structure first. Magic flipped that order. He focused on ownership early, and income followed naturally. That's not accidental, that's design. Today, Magic Johnson's wealth is measured in billions, not because he worked harder, not because he stayed relevant longer, not because he chased endorsements, but because he controlled equity, infrastructure, and long-term ownership. Basketball was the entry point. The holding company was the engine. Here's the final thought. High income makes life more comfortable. Ownership makes life more free. Magic Johnson understood that difference early, and he built accordingly. If this changed how you think about money, business, or control, that's not an accident. This is the beginning of the conversation. If you want to understand how this same ownership thinking applies to regular people, not celebrities, not athletes, I've built a free school community where we break this down in plain language. No hype, no hustle fantasy, just structure, leverage, and control. You can join the free O.N.C.E school community using the link below and start learning how ownership actually works. I'll see you inside.